isn't it? But more fundamental, before we discuss some chapter in a fiqh book about ahkam al-buyu', is actually the whole view of fiqh and the whole view of sharia, which is ibadah. Can you see? And so ibadah, if I worship Allah, that means solely for Him, no one else. I cannot ascribe partners overtly, which is that when you worship idols. Quraysh always believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my brothers, isn't it? إذا سألتم من خلق السماوات والأرض ليقولن الله قل أفرأيتم ما تدعون من دون الله إن أرادني الله بضر هل هن كاشفات ضره أو أرادني برحمة هل هن ممسكات رحمته قل حسبي الله عليه يتوكل المتوكلون. And if you ask them, this is Surah Ghafir, yeah? إذا سألتموه, when you ask them who created the heavens and the earth, they don't say Hubal, they don't say Uzza, they don't say Lat, they say Allah. Then قل أفرأيتم ما تدعون من دون الله, then why are you worshipping all these people then? Isn't it? Why are you worshipping all of these people? Because, my brothers, believing Allah, this aqidah must pervade in every aspect. This is where the shirk comes in. So what they used to do in those days is that they would say, yes, I believe in Allah, but then when it comes to my health, I believe in this other thing. Yeah, I believe in Allah, but when it comes to my security, it's this idol. So therefore, I'm going to make this idol and carry this idol around with me wherever I go. It's going to give me security and protection. You see. And so Quran addressed these points and said, look, it is safety and security that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you these things. You see. Those were because shirk is not one type, it's various types. The other form of shirk that they used to do is that they made their asyad and their ashraf, the leaders, their reference points. So whatever the leaders, they said, this is right. You see, this is another form of shirk. Because shirk is more broader than that. Because even in the salah, in fact, Rasulullah said, he said the small shirk is the one, it's so difficult to even spot. Isn't it? It's like a black ant on a black night on a black rock is difficult to see. You see. Now, this discussion, we need to make it alive. We need to understand how they saw it at that time. At that time, my brothers, they used to worship these idols, even though they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for their race, sustenance and their life, they used to refer to these idols. Today, we don't have Hubal. So there's no point to talk about Hubal. We don't have Uzza. We don't have Lat, we have Manat. Today, when it comes to the discussion of rizq, who is it? The economy is bad, so I want to vote for the Labour Party or, the Conservative Party. Can you see? The halal and haram, we forget. Do you see? This is the we're not saying a mushrik, of course, because shirk is types. The blatant one is you become mushrik. If you start bowing down to some idol, then you are classed as mushrik. Yeah? But the other forms of shirk, which are the shirkul asghar, is which is not clear, but still it is a form of shirk, that you're relying on someone else other than Allah. So, when it comes to speaking the haqq, we as a community, we're being attacked. And a state of fear is being created. So when they talk about hijab and our values, we are told, to abandon these values or remain silent. Here, if we really depend and have tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we will hold on to this deen. We will speak the haqq, isn't it? Because the shirk can be anything. Shirk doesn't necessarily mean idol. It could be society, it could be people, it could be system, it could be even rulers. Taghut. Taghut is the word used. You see. So that's why, my brothers, shirk do not see it as just idol and this type of thing. That is the reality. We need to connect the shirk today. Today we have man-made legislation and rules. People dictating how society should live. Isn't it? This is like so clear. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the musharri'. He is the legislator, He is the lawgiver. But today, people saying, I want to follow, the capitalist economic system, the socialist economic system. I'm a bit left, center right, I'm a bit left. Do you see? yeah, in the politics, and how you look at social problems, and we want to follow this. This is another form of shirk, my brothers. It's not shirkul akbar, as long as the person is not aware of what he is doing. Yeah, but this is another form of shirk. Ourselves, it has to be that we, believe in the Sharia as a complete way of life, that this is the solution for us, and we work for this. You see? So that's how we need to view this, and we need to connect these discussions with shirk on our modern issues and our modern problems, the current problem that we face, inshallah. Okay, brothers, what it is?
Very briefly, actually.
Any wider knowledge that we learn is good, alhamdulillah. That's not a problem. Yeah, to study what the ulama have said, certain about aspects of aqidah, is a good thing, and may Allah reward you for doing that. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. But the issue is this: is that I'm gonna just go off. Yeah, my ummah is in a dire situation, isn't it? My community, the Muslim community, is in a dire situation. Now, I can't say anything about this. I can't do anything. I can't engage. I can't get involved, until I have studied Aqidah Tahawiyya. My brothers, this is not the way of the Sahaba. This is not the way of the Sahaba. We have to understand Aqidah in two ways. One is the fundamentals of Aqidah, and then we have the ulum. Yeah? Now the ulum, the detailed discussion of Aqidah and its peripheral discussion and its furu', this is not something which is fardu ayn, you see. Yeah, and in fact this is very critical.
If you have the Aqidah, that is the basis of what you are doing the ibadah. Because the shirk is actually based on Aqidah. What is your Aqidah? Relating with this Aqidah, shirk is coming in this form. As you mentioned that one, the shirk which people are taking in various forms, some is taking, we actually call, someone is taking, if I don't work, I cannot eat. Then I was denying that Allah is Rabb. If I don't cultivate my land, who is going to feed me? This is another type of shirk. I understand this, but
brother, you do not.
Question about the Aqidah, and you are saying.
I said two things.
He made the Aqidah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam described and struggled 9 years. They developed the Aqidah of the Sahaba, and just you were.
Uncle,
you see,
we got very little time.
Yeah. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "La taqrabu salah." Don't go near the salah. We can't say to Allah, what you say, we don't pray. You need to finish the ayah off. Wa antum sukara, when you're drunk. You see. So I am having a discussion on Aqidah, but I said there's 2 points. You see. So we were discussing the first point, and I will come to your second point that you just mentioned. Jazakallah khair. I fully agree with you that you must have this. But what I was saying is that the Aqidah as a ulum, as a ilm, as a detailed discussion. Like for example, you go to Imam Ghazali's book when he refuted the philosophers. It's that big. You go to Imam Juwayni's book, on Aqidah is this big, my brothers. Yeah, very detailed discussions, which the ulama in the peripheries. This, alhamdulillah, if you want to study, you can study. It's good, but it is not wajib, aini. But what we need to have is what you just. My second point, uncle, is the fundamentals of Aqidah that we must live and make this alive in our life. And the fundamentals of Aqidah is the purpose in life, is understanding rizq, is understanding tawakkul, is understanding, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is khaliq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is malik, He is raziq, that we are dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all those things that you mentioned. You see, the problem we find today is that those fundamentals people don't want to have. They want to have a long, discussion about, what's the difference, what did the Mu'tazila say? If you don't know what the Mu'tazila say, and you don't have a detailed refutation of the Mu'tazila and, certain sects in the past said, does not mean now you're suddenly deficient.